What's up, guys? This is OhSoPoetic coming to you live, and today's topic I'm going to be talking about relationships and advice. Now, a lot of us have either been in a relationship, so we're in a relationship, we had a failed relationship, or we're barely making it in our relationship. And a lot of times it's because we have too many people involved in our relationship issues. Every argument, we're seeking validation, maybe from our moms, our sister, our brother, our cousin, whoever we trust, instead of going to our partners and trying to understand them. We become so adamant on being right that we forget how to communicate. We forget how to compromise. We forget how to make things better between the two people that's in the relationship. A lot of us even have poor communication skills. We listen to respond, but we don't listen to understand. So if someone says something, it's like a key point that catches your attention, and the only thing you're waiting to do is interject so you can get that point out there. That's where we're being adamant. We're being too, confident and wanting to be so right that we don't think about what the other person is really feeling or what they're telling us. Now, in the middle of a problem or an argument or difficulty, if there's something that you and your partner is going through, and you go to other people, now you got like 7 people, 8 people in your relationship. That's 8 different people thinking 8 different ways. And it's hard to come up with a solution when all of these people are thinking different ways. And when you are in a relationship, it's really you and your spouse and your significant other. And you'll never know what they're thinking. That's why it's disagreements. And I think men are wired different from women. I think they think more with their minds than they do their emotions. And I think women think more with their emotions than they do. I guess we think with our mind and our heart. But men think more with their mind versus their heart. That's how I feel. And then some men look at different things from a different aspect. They look at things from a different point of view. There could be a situation where one guy, he's catering to this girl. He's being nice to her, buying her things, making her feel good, giving her compliments. And boom, shorty think, okay, well, this gonna be my man. We in a relationship. And whole time, nobody ever gave any confirmation that we're in a relationship, that we're together. But the two people would think differently. I'm thinking more emotional as a woman, and as a man, he's thinking, okay, I'm doing these things because I want to be with her. I want to just spend my time with her at this moment. It's nothing serious to him, though. So I feel like when disagreements happen, we pull too many people in our situations, and then now we got so many problems, so many solutions, but it's not the two people that created the situation that has compromised to make the situation right. So it's just like, for me, I think I don't get advice from people who haven't been through the situations I've been through. So there are people who are maybe married, and they would go to a single person and they'll say, hey, I need your help on getting my divorce. So if the single person is not a lawyer, or they're not a Google expert or a research expert, how can they help a married person get a divorce? It's very difficult. Same thing goes with a woman who's married to a man, and she goes to her single friend who's miserable. She may be bitter. She may have some built up emotions against men. And she goes to her and she's like, hey, what do you think I should do because my husband's cheating on me, or my husband's not spending the time, or he looks different? Girl, leave him. That's what she'll tell him. Girl, leave him. Because she's lonely. So now you got this girl who don't have a man, don't know how to keep a man, maybe don't even know how to keep a marriage. And you have a lady who's married, having difficulties in her marriage that can be resolved, but she's getting advice from the wrong person. Sometimes we have to watch who we get our advice from as far as a relationship. We have to watch who we look forward to for our, advice. I think a lot of people are looking for like a perfect love, and I don't want a perfect love. You have some women who are just like, they bitter, they just angry at men, and they don't want to be in a relationship, but they miss that love aspect in the relationship. You have those kind of women who will give a person who's looking for advice, that's going through issues in their relationship, they would give them that type of advice. And to me, I feel like they don't really know how to communicate. They don't know how to be in a relationship. And sometimes communication is the key to a relationship, but it's also understanding. When you communicate, okay, we can talk all day, every day, But if I don't understand where you're coming from, I don't understand your point of view, we're never going to be able to get along. That's why I say you have to be careful who you get your advice from, because if you're understanding what this person is saying, it's going to change your aspect of how you feel, or your perspective of how you feel. It will alter those things, and sometimes that could make the situation worse. But that's why I like to give advice from both standpoints. I look at it from both ways, from the male perspective and the female perspective. So if a friend was to come to me and say, hey, I'm about to leave this dude, and I'll be like, why? And that's the first thing I always ask. I'll be like, why? And they be like, maybe they say, he just don't understand me. He don't understand how I feel. So I say, what you mean? And she tell him, well, I think he loves me. I think he want to be with me. But every time I tell him I'm not going to leave, he says, yeah, whatever. And his whole expression changed, like he don't believe me or something. And then I think to myself, I'm like, okay, well, why does he feel that way? She says she doing everything right. They happy. They don't have no real big disagreements. But every time she just say this one key thing, she feel a emotional change. So I'll ask, like, well, do he have abandonment issues? Like, has people told him this before? Has his father told him that and said, well, hey, listen, I'll be back, and he never came back, or I'll never leave you, and he ended up leaving? Has his girlfriend did that? Has he had many girlfriends do this? Like, you have to look at different aspects, and you have to sit and listen to what people think. And she'll either say, I'm not sure, or she'll start to remember things he said in an argument when he was angry or in an emotional moment. But if you really listen to him and really feel like an emotional, imaginary touch when he tell you a story, that's the main cause to the problem that he's got going on. That's the main cause to events. That's how I feel. Like, I think men think more with their heads. So when they pour out their emotions, when they do it, they pour their hearts out, and you'll see a different type of person. You'll either boost his ego by letting him know that you care, or you'll bruise his ego by saying, oh, you'll crybaby, you'll just different terms, insulting him, making him feel like he just weak because he's showing you emotions. And a lot of people don't realize what they do when somebody pouring out their heart, because when they have that serious moment, that's the moment that you need to listen to them. That's the moment that you communicate. That's the moment that you'll get to know them. So the key to successful communication in a relationship, in my opinion, is when you are talking to someone and y'all totally disagree, but when you can take a minute to listen to what the other person say, and you'll start to see different things in a different perspective. You won't see it exactly the way they see it, but your perspective will kind of change to view their point of view, to view from the way they're seeing it. So it's all about communication. I don't really believe people understand the real term agree to disagree. And the way I look at it is, it's just, if you can change your mindset, change your perspective of a way another person think, and come to an agreement of where both of y'all saw that point of view, but in a different way, that's when you can totally agree to disagree. So to me, that's when a relationship is actually standing. That's when it's compromising. That's when the both of them start to understand each other. Well, anyway, guys, yeah, that's what I believe. That's my time. I think we should just believe when you're in a relationship that it's not going to be perfect. I don't want a perfect relationship. I want an imperfect love, I guess. I'm not looking for perfection. I'm not looking for somebody that will be exactly like me. And just, you have to start talking to your partner. Start to look at things from a different perspective. Everything that I was always told, everything that glitters ain't gold. You may see something better than what you have, but when you get to know them, it doesn't compare to what you had. Just be careful who you let go, or who you choose not to get to know because you think too different. Be careful who you take advice from, because not all advice is good advice. And I guess that's it, guys. So like, share, and subscribe. Peace, love, and happiness.